In your HusKAL kit, you will have received the coach's playbook that has all of our information about what's included in your kit, suggested needles, details even on blocking. So you want to give this a review. Then there's also a 10th anniversary spirit scarf kickoff, and this is where you're going to start your scarf. You'll want to write your main color, which is your background color. The one I'm going to be demonstrating on is the fan favorite. So the bear is the background. My contrast color 1 is black. Contrast color 2 is red. Let's talk a little bit about the needles that you'll be using. You'll have to make a choice about how you'd like to knit this. You can knit it in the round with no more than a 14-inch length cord. So you have to use the short mini tips to achieve this, or you can use a magic loop. If you are a loose knitter, we would recommend using a US 6. If you're more of a average knitter or tight knitter, we would recommend a US 7. The gauge is 22 stitches in 4 inches. And we recommend that you pull the yarn from the outside of the skein. This helps minimize our tangles. And we're going to use the main color to cast on 72 stitches. And we are going to place markers every 12 inches, which we'll review, 12 stitches, sorry, which we will review. On the back of your kickoff sheet, then there are some tips for making this scarf. And you'll want to review it. Again, we recommend the stitch markers. We recommend the needle size. We'll talk about we're going to show you in a minute how to join to work in the round. And it talks about the needle sizes. All the patterns are in chart form, and some rows are all white or all red or all black, and you don't want to skip those. Those are part of what we do. And a chart is read from the bottom right-hand corner, and we'll review that as we go along. So you want to pay close attention and take a moment to read these intro sheets for your project. I'm going to be knitting my fan favorite HusKAL on a magic loop. And so I am a loose knitter, and so I am using a US 6 needle, and then I like to use a 40-inch cord because it gives me enough space to do my magic loop, in which I will demonstrate a trick that I use in the magic loop video. When you're using an interchangeable needle, you'll want to always there's a little hole in your needles, and you want to take the T-pin and you want to put your T-pin in that hole. It's not to turn like this. It's designed to be used as leverage. So you hold it and you give it a nice twist. And you really want to do that. It's really common to just throw those needles on and not do it, but then you're going to run the risk of them coming undone. I love a Chow Goose set. If you don't have one, I'd consider investing in one, because then you can just change out the cord and change out the needles and make that work for whatever project that you're working on. Right, I'm ready to cast on my 72 stitches. We are recommending that you pull from the outside of these skeins. Just keeps it from getting tangled in the middle, and it'll save you a lot of headache later. A lot of people ask, how do I know how much yarn to use? You're just going to use a standard long tail cast on. I just really kind of eyeball it. There are several techniques that you can use wrapping the yarn. You can get an estimate of 30 or an inch per stitch. So with this one, I did 36 and 36 and then a little bit more. One of the things I like to do when I cast on with a long tail is I don't put a slip knot in. And so I just drape the yarn over the needle, and I've got the tail in front of me here, drape it over the needle, and then I put my index finger there so that it's holding it secure. Then I'm going to get in position to do my cast on. You go all the way over, go through, grab it, bring it out, and then just gently tighten it down. There's no need to pull or tug. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle. That. And I keep my finger kind of right here, and so that creates just a little bit of space. You don't really want to cast on too tightly, but it's not something you need to worry about. So we'll cast on the 72 stitches, and then I'll show you how to join to work in the round. All right, I've completed the cast on. I neglected to mention you need to cast on 1 extra stitch, so 73. And you've got your long cord here. And so you slide your stitches into the middle of the cord. And I've got 35 and, or I'm sorry, it should be 32. So 33 and 32 here. And you're gonna split, I counted it out. So then you're gonna pull your cord up. This is where the loop gets created like that. And you can put a little marker on there. See how easy that is to pull that up. You want to be careful not to pull. Once I've got it started, then I'm going to push my needles up onto the stitches. Or I'm sorry, up onto the needles. Okay. And I want where I ended in the back. So that's where the working yarn is attached to. And I want that in the back. And then I can see that I've got a twist here. So I call these the little cast on butts there. Just need to make sure that they're all in the center. So I adjust it until I've got them all in the center. The place to look is right here to make sure there's no additional twists. You look again, take time and check it several times. Once I get it in position, then I kind of turn them down. Then I'm going to do some trading places. But before I do that, I like to bring that working yarn up and over in between the needles. And I even might give it another look. And then I'm just going to put my index finger in the middle here. I'm going to carefully scooch those stitches, is that a word, scooch? Those stitches out towards the end of the needle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the front needle stitch over and off to the back. So we're going to take it off, just carefully, trade places. You don't need to twist it, just simply take it and trade places. Now, what gives a really nice join is for you to take the last cast on stitch and you're going to drop it off. That's why we cast on that extra stitch. We're going to drop it off carefully. And then we're going to give all yarns, the tail and the working yarn, a good yank. There we go. Tighten that up. And now we're ready to work in the round with our magic loop. So we've got a really nice jet. You don't need to keep that marker on. You can take that marker off now. You've got a really nice, generous loop here to work with. You're cast on and you're ready to go. In our next video, we'll talk about how you work with the magic loop. An alternative for your HusKAL project, if you don't want to use the magic loop, is to use a 14-inch needle. And how do we achieve a 14-inch needle? We have what we call twist shorties, and they have a little 3-inch needle that attaches to a 8-inch cord. And you can't do this on a 16-inch, a traditional 16-inch circular needle, because there's only 72 stitches. The advantage of doing this is that, as you can see, you can just go round and round, and you would cast on and join to work in the round exactly how we did it before, where we would drop one, bring a stitch over and drop it off, tighten it up. So you do cast on the 73 stitches to get it going. So that would be an alternative for you to do if you're not comfortable using the magic loop. Although a magic loop is going to be really beneficial for you in many projects to come in the future.